Bitcoin 12-hour charts, very important. We're still holding this higher low here since we have crashed down and rebounded from that bear flag we talked about last week. Very important. Higher lows are still bullish until this higher low actually breaks. We're still looking bullish on this time frame. This is the 12-hour time frame, okay? Daily time frame, of course, we still do have a higher low as well since the breakdown and the rebound a couple days ago. Okay, very subtle, but it's still looking bullish in the short term here. Okay, since the rebound, of course. Now we do have the higher low that was at 82.5. Right, we're currently at about just slightly over that, but we have not broken down yesterday on Friday where the S&P 500 basically tumbled down about 6%. That's very important because usually when S&P 500 actually goes down, very high correlation with Bitcoin, and if Bitcoin actually holds its higher low, could be expecting something big happening here because that's the next logical move would be a higher high given this higher low actually holds, okay? If we actually make a higher high, the next test here is going to be in this range where we see all the daily moving averages are, where the daily 50 is currently at about 87,000, okay? So in this range, we're going to have quite a bit of resistance here, including the daily 200 SMA, which is the orange line. If we actually are able to get back above these moving averages, then the next real test I'll be looking at, and I've been mentioning this, would be about 94,000, which is the weekly 21 SMA. A very important moving average because we have actually broken down from that a couple weeks ago, and we have not even had a retest back up to that resistance, right? So I usually will see price action actually going back up to retest a certain resistance after it has broken down as supports. Usually, not always, but usually. Okay, so if we are actually able to break above these daily moving averages, then that's going to be the next level I'll be really looking at. Okay, we have the 3-day as well. That's currently at about 88 as well. So those are going to be some important resistances to be looking at. Now on the hourly time frame, right, we are still seeing price action consolidating within this range, very tight range, right, since the bounce back of that bear flag breakdown. Okay, so still something to be paying attention to here because if we start making lower lows, then we're going to be talking about lower targets. We've been talking about this other range, right, that we would actually expect to see if the 80,000 level actually breaks, then it's going to be about 76, 77,000, which is the weekly 50 SMA. That's the low side. That's the downside of what we're seeing right now. So this is the range that I am actually looking at for Bitcoin. Now, let's go to the stock market, S&P 500. Very important to be paying attention to this as well because I've talked about a possible bullish divergence reversal scenario here for the weekly time frame, which could have been really big. However, the bears, it just continues selling off. I don't usually see this as well because when I usually see bullish divergence, it would more likely than not mean a reversal, right? And in that case, a bounce. However, price action did not do it this time. Okay, in a pretty unlikely scenario. Okay. However, got to be paying attention to this. On the monthly time frame, we are on a monthly moving average that we have not hit since October 2023. So we could get a bounce here for the stock market. So, getting a bounce at the stock market, meaning we're not, getting a bounce at the stock market while Bitcoin's still holding its higher lows, that could be a pretty good setup. Now, that's what I'm seeing in this market. None of this is financial advice, of course. It's purely my speculations and opinions. Make sure to like, subscribe for daily updates. I'll see you guys next time.